Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Gravity Ace devlog. I started off this week by building a new theme for the GravityAce.com website. The previous theme was functional, but it wasn't super flashy or attractive. It was kind of boring. So I basically juiced the website by doing a few simple things. First, I made everything bigger. It's still centered on the screen, but the content area is much wider and uses a much bigger font size. I also increased the size of videos and images so that they're, the full width. And I added a very large hero image at the top of the homepage. Number 2, I removed the pixel font from most of the text on the homepage, and now I'm only using it for headings. Just little splashes here and there. The rest of the text uses the Google font Share and ShareTech Mono, which, they look kind of sci-fi-y. Number 3, I added About, Media, and Contact sections to the homepage. Before those were kind of buried. They were on the press page. They were kind of scattered around, but now it's all on one page. 4, I added some very large call to action buttons to wishlist on Steam and follow on itch at the top of every screen. Later, I can change them to buy buttons. 5, I added an animated background showing the nebula and stars from the game. It's kind of, you didn't need it, but it looks cool. It's a looping video. It plays in the background, shows off some of the, nebula graphics from the game. Pretty simple changes, but I think it's night and day compared to the old site. What else have I been working on? So in the game, I added a classic controls option. The default controls scheme is modern twin stick controls, or WASD plus mouse aim, but you can now also activate classic controls for retro purists who want an experience more like the original thrust. So classic controls are tank style. They're rotate and move. Aiming is fixed directly in front of you, so you can only shoot in the same direction as the ship is pointing. Gamepad aim, mouse aim, those are turned off. So in this mode, you need to rotate the ship to thrust and aim. It's more difficult, but it also gives it a more retro vibe, and it's more authentic to the original thrust. I'd actually had both control schemes already in the game mapped to different inputs. WASD used modern controls, and the arrow keys were classic. On the gamepad, the analog sticks were modern, and the D-pad was classic. But I've consolidated the controls, made the choice explicit, put it in the options menu. That should make it more discoverable so people can find out about it easier, and it won't seem like a bug, if they come across it by accident. I also worked on input mapping. It's been on my list for a long time, but removing hard-coded device IDs from the game finally needed to be done. It was boring, but I needed to do it. So I added code to detect controllers being plugged and unplugged, dynamically assign the controllers to player 1 or player 2, and I replaced all of the old gamepad axis code detection with the new Get Action Strength API in Godot. While I was doing that, I modified the input map to include a second controller. Basically, if you've got 2 gamepads plugged into your machine, you can use either one to control the game. They're both active at the same time, so it doesn't matter which one you pick up. And this all lays the groundwork for local multiplayer. I'm not implementing it right now, but at some point during early access, I'd like to add at least 2 different local multiplayer modes. One mode would be a Space War style 1v1 battle mode where 2 players can face off in a small arena and blast each other. The other mode would be a co-op mode where 2 people can control one ship through the single player campaign. So this actually works right now as a side effect of how I redid the input mapping, since both controllers and the keyboard and mouse are all active at all times. 2 or more people can decide how they want to split up duties. Maybe player 1 would fly, while player 2 shoots and beams. Making co-op mode explicit will mean locking certain actions to certain inputs, and maybe even doing something crazy like a mode where you randomize which inputs work on different controllers. Could be interesting, but I'm not doing it right now. It's not on my to-do list for early access launch. Speaking of launch, I need testers. So, I'm transitioning Gravity Ace distribution to a closed beta. Please join the Discord server if you'd like to try out the game, if you'd like to help test it, and if you can provide feedback. I'd love to hear your suggestions. All Discord users will also receive a launch discount, so come join today. You can find the Discord link on this video and at gravityace.com. That's it for now. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks, and see you next time.